Hey everyone. So I hope you all had a happy Mother's Day. It is about 8:03 in the morning on this Tuesday, May 16th. Gonna try this again because I think I may have had I may have hit the wrong button as I just said there. But yeah, I hope you have all had a good Mother's Day this past weekend. Hope you all spent it with your moms, doing something nice. Going to movies, going to a restaurant, whatever, or maybe even what's the word I'm looking for? Giving your respects to your mom or your grandmothers that have passed on, your aunts that have passed on and stuff, or family members or friends, and that are moms or were moms that have passed on. Hopefully, maybe you spent time, paying your respects. That's the word I was looking for, paying your respects. It's early. I do apologize. Hope you guys did that as well as, like I said, outside of that, spend time with your moms and had a good time with them. As far as me and my family goes, on Saturday we didn't do much. We just, me and my mom just decided to stay home. Because it was, it's getting warm now. It's getting into like the low to mid at times high 90s. Because we're getting into summer real soon. So we decided to just stay home on Saturday, kind of rest up, get ready for Sunday, and then on Sunday we went out to with my family in Modesto. We went out to Mimi's restaurant, and the initial plan originally, as from what they were trying to work out, was go to Mimi's restaurant, eat, and then go cherry and blueberry picking in the orchard in an orchard that we'd been to before. And that didn't happen because one, it was too hot, and my sister, my second older sister, who's worked in the restaurant business as a waitress for many years and knows the ins and outs, if you will, pretty much couldn't get the reservations for any earlier than what she did. And I'm just taking my computer right here because of course, when you have your computer on and you leave it on, even when you're sleeping, it goes into standby mode. The screen goes off. The screen goes blank and everything, and all that. It doesn't go into sleep mode, but it goes blank. So you have to, just when you basically press the mouse or your keyboard, you have to let your computer kind of catch up. Whether or not the browser says not responding or anything, it doesn't mean it's crashed. It just means, hey, I'm not responding because I'm catching up with myself right now. So give me time. And yeah, it gets annoying, but what are you gonna do? But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, the initial plan was to do cherry picking. Cherry picking, on Sunday after we ate. But again, like I said, my sister couldn't get the reservations for any earlier than what she did, so we ended up going to Mimi's, and then afterwards we went to the mall, more specifically Dave and Buster's. Now, we had a good time at Mimi's and everything. We actually bumped into my brother-in-law's in-laws, if you will, his nephew-in-law, who's there with his family. And I said hi. I just said, hey, how you doing? We're right over there if you want to say hi. It's no big deal. So, I just said hi and everything to him. And they were surprised to see them when we were waiting because when me, my mom, my second, not my second, but when me, my mom, my older sister, and her husband, my brother-in-law, got there, we were still waiting, because my second older sister and her husband and their son were waiting along with their. Well, actually, okay, let me rewind this. All right, what I was trying to say, because like I said, it's early. We were we got there, and my second older sister and her husband and their sons and her oldest son fiance were waiting, and we were waiting along with them. And then uh, my second oldest nephew, who was supposed to go with us initially, but got up late. He met us there, and he was there in time to wait as well. So so while we're waiting, in comes my brother-in-law's in-laws, his family, and they see each other, and they my sister, she's of course their in-laws. My older sister is of course their in-law, is what I should say, and vice versa. She hugs him, embraces him, they talk and all that. So anyway, after all that, we finally get seated, and we order and everything. And what's interesting for me is that originally I had ordered a Coors Light, so the waitress said, "Oh, we're out of Coors Light." So I said, "Okay, what about a Bud Light?" And she's like, and here's what's interesting, because we know about this whole controversy going on right now. She was like a little hesitant, and I was like, she was like, "Would you say Bud Light, Coors Light?" And I was like, and it's almost like she didn't want me to say Bud Light again because I think she might be against it because of what's going on. So I said, Corona Light. She said, "Okay, no problem." So I had a Corona Light with that. And then afterwards, we ordered food. And then my niece, she shows up with her son and her daughter, my great nephew and my great niece. She shows up with them. And my great niece is just a bundle of energy at 2 years old, going on 3 this August, but just a bundle of energy. She just can't really sit still at times. She's just so excited, overstimulated, if you will. But she's a good kid. It's just that, you know, she just gets in. She's just at that age right now where she likes to say hi and all that, and just explore, wander around and stuff. So anyway, we had our food. I got jambalaya, which really helped me out with the mucus situation because I think the spices kind of just like really just took out any leftover mucus that was there. Then afterwards, we went to the mall, more specifically Dave and Buster's. My mom bought 400 credits basically. She bought 400 credits, and she actually had a good time with this. And honestly, honest to God, I've never been in a Dave and Buster's before Sunday, and I liked it. It's a family friendly place. It's got these big screens, and I've seen these kind of screens before when I went to Disneyland back in 2012. They had these screens to where it's like, here's this big TV screen, but you have like 8 different images on there, 8 different things being broadcast. Well, you have some of those different things being broadcast on different screens across, you know, Dave and Buster's. Like one screen on that big screen in the upper right hand corner had A League of Their Own playing, and then on a screen like right where you just turn around, it's playing right there too. So it had those kind of screens. Of course, it had a bar, where you could get some drinks and all that if you felt like it. But we all basically played games. We had fun and everything. My mom actually beat me sometimes when it came to certain games like the spin the wheels and Plinko. I mean, heck, when it came to the Plinko game, my second older sister had been going there since, technically it opened, basically the second week it was open. And what happened is she played Plinko before, but she'd never gotten right in the middle, like the bonus. My mom plays it, and she, on her second try, I think, gets right onto the bonus, which surprises my second older sister because that had never happened before. It had never happened. So my mom had a good time there, succeeded at that. And then we had this like spin the wheel kind of thing, pirate booty thing. And I don't know what it was with me, but all I would ever get was like 10 at times, just initially get 10, if you will. So my mom spins it, and on her first spin, she gets 1,000. You know, and it's like holy smokes, right? Anyway, after that, I go and I play some other games. She plays some games too, along with me, like the basketball game that's Golden State Warrior inspired and stuff, as well as the football throwing game. And some of these games, you would think they could go for a little longer because there were times like with the football one or even the baseball one, the fast pitch one, where it only went like for a couple of times, and my mom's like, "Is that it? Is that it?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, okay, forget about that one." So we would do the basketball one and all that. We did the virtual bowling one as well, and we did the break the plates one where you get these balls and you just throw them at the virtual plates and all that. And my mom actually did better at that than I did. I'll be honest. And then we had the Hatchet Hero, which is based on the Hatchet Axe sports game and all that. And I saw people, they would just go and like college students, high school students, adults, they would go into this. They were enjoying playing this game. So I figured, okay, if I get an opportunity, I'm going over there and I'm playing it. So I went over there when I got the opportunity, put in the credits with the card, and then I just started throwing. And I actually did, and I did about twice. And on the second try, I actually did better than I did on my first. I actually hit around the bullseye about twice, and that was pretty good. So I'm figuring, heck, if there's ever an axe throwing, hatchet throwing kind of target game that I could ever play in this area outside of Dave and Buster's, I'm gonna do it because it's fun, and it's the kind of game that if you watch Dr. Wolf's videos or Lightning Bliss's videos or even Josh Scorcher's videos, and they do the vlogs of them, at their certain conventions like Everfree Northwest, where I think they do this a lot. One of the activities they do outside of the convention when they're up there is the axe throwing. So if we have something like that around here in the Central Valley area, Newman, Patterson, Modesto, outside of Dave and Buster's, I would love to know about it so that way I can play it, myself. Um, but outside of that, we had a good time. We also played Monopoly. They had the big Monopoly game with the dice that you hold on to and you roll. And my mom actually did pretty good on that, better than me. I'll admit that too. Um, so yeah, she had fun with it. I had fun. I got a little bit of a headache because I think I drank the Corona a little too fast. Not too much, but a little too fast, and everything. And also, it was kind of warm, and I was wearing, mostly black. I was wearing my Michael Jackson, one of my black Michael Jackson shirt along with pants. So, man, that was kind of my fault. So, what happened afterwards is we were going to leave. We bought with our points, with our credits, a couple of things over there. We still have credits and all that on our card that you could build up over time. That's what my third oldest nephew is doing right now. I guess he wants to get something big out of it. So we ended up buying these two things here from Dave and Buster's, which is really cool. This one, of course, you can put in your freezer and it'll freeze up and make your drink really ice cold in the long run, which I really appreciate that. In fact, I put chocolate milk in there last night after I froze it in the freezer. I'll put the cup in the freezer. Tasted really good. Tasted really, really good. And then, of course, after that, we departed. But here's what was interesting. I had to ride with my nephew to Dave and Buster's, just across the parking lot because it's right across from Mimi's and everything. But then afterwards, my nephew and I, instead of going to my niece's, because they were gonna drop off my great niece and my great nephew, who decided to come with us to have fun and give my niece a break, a bit of a Mother's Day break, as well, which she was fine with. Uh, Basically, instead, my older sister says, "Hey, just take him home. If you don't want to go to your sister's, just take him home. We'll meet you there." So we went back to his place, back to his parents' home where he still lives, and we waited there for about an hour and a half, maybe two, because they were visiting with my niece and her fiance, and really that was about the end of the day. And when I got there, of course, I took about 2 ibuprofens because I was like, yeah, I need to get this headache down, and it kind of helped out in the long run. But overall, we had a decent Mother's Day and everything. My mom then, of course, after every holiday, major or not, when she's with family, she took yesterday off because she has plenty of time at work, and she had problems with her Facebook a little bit, but Facebook Messenger that is. But we figured that out, gave it time, it worked itself out, so everything's okay there. Ordered Mountain Mike's Pizza as well, so yeah, we did pretty good. We did pretty good for the weekend, but yeah, that's pretty much how we spent pretty much how I spent Mother's Day, 2023 with my family and everything. Had a good time, a little ups and downs and all that, but mostly positive. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. How did you spend your Mother's Day this past weekend? Comment below, live chat during the premiere. Love to hear from each and every one of you and how you spent your Mother's Day. And until next time, talk to you later.